Hola, iniciamos una nueva lección de Visual English. Vamos a comenzar aprendiendo a formular ciertas preguntas y diversas aplicaciones del vocablo how. Por ejemplo, para preguntar cuánto, con un nombre en singular, se emplea how much, como a continuación vamos a comprobar.
How much does it cost?
How much does it cost? How much does it cost?
Si por el contrario queremos preguntar cuánto, pero refiriéndonos a un nombre en plural, entonces debemos aplicar la expresión how many.
How many dollars does it cost?
How many cassette tapes do you need? How many cassette tapes do you need?
Generalmente los adverbios se forman en inglés añadiendo el sufijo li al adjetivo. Así, por ejemplo, si slow es lento, lentamente o despacio se dirá slowly. Sin embargo, hay excepciones, como por ejemplo el adjetivo rápido y el adverbio rápidamente o deprisa, que tienen una misma forma, fast. De modo que para preguntar a qué velocidad se mueve algo, se emplea precisamente fast y se dirá how fast.
How fast do the modern planes go?
A continuación, vamos a ver aplicaciones similares de how referidas especialmente a la altura, anchura o distancia.
How wide is this street?
How long did you walk? How long did you walk?
Para responder a las preguntas que utilizan este tipo de expresiones como how many o how much, se utilizan locuciones como all of them, es decir, todos, o none of them, ninguno de ellos. Estos giros en las respuestas breves van acompañados por el verbo defectivo correspondiente.
How many of your children can swim? All of them can. How many of your friends speak Japanese? None of them do.
All of my friends like traveling. All of my friends like traveling.
Which do you want?
None of them.
Which do you want?
None of them.
Aquí acabamos ya con la 25ª lección de este curso. Repasen y estudien los libros de apoyo. Podrán comprobar lo avanzados que vamos ya en los conocimientos de esta nueva lengua que están aprendiendo.
Tess McGill is a young, attractive secretary. For years, she has worked for demanding employers at very low pay. Tess is determined to use her intelligence and talent to free herself from this lifestyle. She finds employment at a New York City brokerage company, working for Catherine, a seductive, high-powered female executive, played by Sigourney Weaver.
I've never worked for somebody who was younger than me before, or for a woman.
Well, there's a first time for everything. That's not going to be a problem, is it, Tess?
No.
Good. Why don't you pour us a cup of coffees and come on inside? I'm light. No sugar.
Played by Melanie Griffith, Tess has had enough of fixing coffee for others. When an unexpected skiing accident confines her boss to bed, Tess doesn't hesitate to take over. With her sudden role change, she meets Jack Trainer, a successful investment broker played by Harrison Ford.
I have a head for business and a bod for sin. Is there anything wrong with that?
Tess continues to pretend to have a powerful job, and she and Jack instantly become partners in a career-making business venture. Soon, Jack wants more than a business relationship with Tess. The situation gets more complicated when Jack falls in love, something Tess wants to avoid.
We're in a business deal together now, and I just don't think that we should get involved that way. My life is real complicated as it is.
I don't want it complicated either. I just thought dinner, maybe a movie.
We both know what we're talking about.
I certainly hope so.
You know, maybe I just don't like you.
Me? Nah.
Soon, Tess gives in to Jack's charm and corporate flair, but continues with the help of a friend to hide her true identity.
You do, sir? Mr. Jack Trainer to see you, Miss McGill.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Hold all calls, Miss McGill.
Yes, Cynthia, thank you.
Can I get you anything, Mr. Trainer? Coffee, tea, me?
Isn't she right? That'll be all, Cynthia.
Although the truth is eventually uncovered, a surprised Jack remains convinced that Tess belongs at the top of the business world. Directed by Mike Nichols, Working Girl was filmed entirely in New York City.
Hey, Tess, how you doing?
Comenzamos ya esta lección regresando al estudio de los verbos. Concretamente, vamos a estudiar algunas formas de ciertos verbos defectivos. Por ejemplo, could, que es el pretérito imperfecto del verbo defectivo can, y que por lo tanto significa podía o sabía. Al conjugar esta forma verbal, could, se emplea con todas las personas, tanto del singular como del plural.
She could skate very well when she was younger.
You could apply for a scholarship to the university. You could apply for a scholarship to the university.
Could se emplea también para el pretérito indefinido. Por lo tanto, se puede traducir además por pude, supe, pudimos, supimos, dependiendo de la persona. Así, para decir que supe contestar a todas las preguntas,
I could answer all the questions.
cuando se desea dar mayor énfasis a la idea de habilidad o capacidad, se emplea la expresión to be able to, que al igual que can, también puede significar poder o saber, pero que más literalmente podemos traducirlo como ser capaz de. Incluso en algunos casos puede traducirse por conseguir o lograr. Como es lógico, si queremos emplear el verbo en algún tiempo pasado, utilizaremos las formas adecuadas del verbo to be.
He was able to lift heavy weights.
I was able to talk before I was 2. I was able to talk before I was 2.
Para indicar la imposibilidad de hacer algo por falta de permiso o habilidad, en pasado se emplea could not o la forma abreviada couldn't.
She couldn't drink the tea because it was too hot.
I couldn't take the car because it was out of order. I couldn't take the car because it was out of order.
Bueno, ahora podemos pasar ya a ver una aplicación práctica de todo lo que hemos aprendido en esta lección. Y naturalmente, esto quiere decir que nos vamos ya con los Brown. En esta ocasión, John y Margaret salen de compras a la tienda de su amiga Sally.
Hello, Sally. This is my friend John.
Hello, Margaret. Hello, John. I'm pleased to meet you.
Sally, can you help us? I need some cassette tapes for my tape recorder.
How many cassette tapes do you need?
Well,
I can't guess the answer.
I want 5 cassette tapes. How much does it cost?
It doesn't cost much. It only costs $20.
Oh, yes, that is very cheap. Here's the money, Sally.
Do you want a bag?
Yes, please. I need a bag for my cassette tapes. Thank you.
That record player is very expensive. How much does it cost?
That record player is very expensive. It costs $250.
Oh.
Do you need any compact discs? Here are some. Which do you want?
None of them. I don't spend a lot of money on compact discs. Thank you.
I'm going over there for a few minutes.
Sally's father is English. Her mother is American. They both speak English. Sally likes dancing. Her boyfriend Bill likes music. They both like fun. Bill can dance very well. Sally can dance as well as Bill.
I like fun, too. I like traveling. All of my friends like traveling. Do you like traveling?
Oh, yes, John. My brother and I traveled as far as the river last Saturday. That's traveling on foot.
How long did you walk?
We walked for 3 hours. We started off at 11 a.m. and we walked till 2 p.m. The city has wide streets and avenues. My brother was able to walk before he was 1.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My brother was able to play the guitar when he was only 11.
At what age were you able to talk?
I was able to talk before I was 2. Can you go out whenever you like?
Yes, generally.
Yesterday at work, I couldn't take the car because it was out of order.
I'm sorry to hear it. What was wrong? Did you have any trouble with the engine?
Yes, there was some trouble with the engine. I couldn't start the car. The mechanic wasn't able to repair my car yesterday. He can repair it today. He works a little later today.
Can he repair it alone?
Yes, he doesn't need help. I need help.
Why?
I want to apply for a scholarship to the university. Couldn't I apply for a scholarship?
Yes, why not?
I wasn't able to finish my studies at school because of my work, the packages. Last week in an examination, I wasn't able to guess the answer.
Don't worry, John. Your work is important, too. You could apply for a scholarship to the university.
Okay. Sally, can I telephone from here?
Yes, you can telephone from here.
Thank you. Margaret, how many of your friends speak French?
None of them do.
Aquí comienza ya la lección número 27 de este curso de inglés Visual English. ¿Han estudiado ustedes? Si así fuera y quisieran contestarme en inglés, tendrían que emplear el pretérito perfecto, precisamente el tiempo con el que vamos a comenzar esta lección. El pretérito perfecto de los verbos regulares se forma con el auxiliar have o has, dependiendo de la persona, acompañado del verbo que se desea conjugar en participio pasado, que, recordemos, en el caso de los verbos regulares, termina siempre en ed. En inglés se emplea el pretérito perfecto para describir acciones que se realizaron en un período de tiempo determinado, o bien cuando en la frase figura algún adverbio de tiempo.
We have studied very much.
Caroline has traveled all over the world. Caroline has traveled all over the world.
I have wasted my time today. I have wasted my time today.
En conversación se suele abreviar el auxiliar. En el caso de la tercera persona del singular, la abreviación de has, she's, his o its coincide con la abreviación del verbo to be en su tercera persona, pero se distingue simplemente porque has va siempre acompañado de un verbo en participio pasado.
I've already finished my homework. He's brushed his teeth.
I've just finished my homework. I've just started reading this book. I've got a lot to do. I've just finished my homework. I've just started reading this book. I've got a lot to do.
El pretérito perfecto continuo, esto es haber sido o haber estado, se forma en inglés con el pretérito perfecto del verbo to be, esto es have been, y el participio presente o gerundio del verbo que se trate. Generalmente este tiempo se traduce por el presente habitual y describe una acción que empezó en un periodo determinado y que no ha finalizado todavía.
You have been resting since you arrived.
We've been waiting for you all afternoon. Where have you been? We've been waiting for you all afternoon. Where have you been?
I have been to the store with John. I have been to the store with John.
Hay muchas expresiones relacionadas con esta parte de la gramática inglesa. Algunas las iremos repasando a lo largo del curso, pero no olviden que en las cintas de audio pueden encontrar muchos ejemplos más. Y recuerden repetir siempre en voz alta para ir consiguiendo una buena pronunciación.
About 150 million kilometers from Earth, a violent inferno rages. Through all that space, we feel its heat and are blinded by its light. But most of us seldom notice the wind of charged particles it sends just as far. Earth's magnetic field initially deflects the wind, sending many of those particles on a complex detour that catapults them back along magnetic field lines. Earth scientist Tom Hallinan.
The only place where it can get close to the Earth, at all close, is near the magnetic poles, and then it can reach down to where the atmosphere starts.
In Alaskan skies, the wind of charged particles is often noticeable. When it collides with upper atmosphere gases, the resulting chemical reactions produce the aurora borealis, the northern lights. Atmospheric chemist Fred Reese.
When these energetic particles interact with the Earth's gases in the atmosphere, one very important effect is to destroy the paths by which radio waves are normally propagated.
And in March of 1989, it began doing much more than that. As the sun began a tantrum, it repeats about every 11 years, spitting out record amounts of particles and sending the northern lights as far south as Mexico. In the process, it caused major disruptions of power, damaged satellites, and confused radar. At the University of Alaska, scientists are using rockets to send chemistry and physics experiments directly into the aurora.
We're at T-minus 10 minutes and counting, and I'd like to go ahead and get clearance.
While ground-based instruments record its graceful, daunting movements.
2, 1, launch. 1, 2...
All aimed at better understanding this impressive Earth-Sun interaction.
Continuamos en esta lección aprendiendo nuevos tiempos verbales. Y comenzamos con el tiempo futuro. Este se forma para las primeras personas, tanto del singular como del plural, mediante el auxiliar shall, que se coloca entre el sujeto y el verbo que se desea conjugar en infinitivo sin la partícula to.
I shall have my new camera soon. We shall buy a new car next month.
Para el resto de las personas se emplea el auxiliar will para formar el futuro, colocado en la frase de forma similar al caso anterior.
They will go by train.
John will go swimming tomorrow afternoon. He will arrive here at 4 p.m. John will go swimming tomorrow afternoon. He will arrive here at 4 p.m.
De forma habitual, en conversación, se suelen emplear las formas abreviadas para los tiempos futuros.
We'll study mathematics every day. They'll come in time for dinner.
Later, we will go to a restaurant around the corner.
And I'll go with you.
Later, we will go to a restaurant around the corner.
And I'll go with you.
La interrogación con el futuro se forma colocando shall o will delante del sujeto, al que sigue el verbo naturalmente en infinitivo sin to.
Will you have some ice cream?
Y vamos a terminar esta lección con el condicional. Este tiempo se forma empleando el auxiliar should para las primeras personas y would para el resto de las personas. El auxiliar se coloca entre el sujeto y el verbo que se quiere emplear en infinitivo sin la partícula to. Una construcción muy similar a la del futuro, que tan solo varía en el empleo del auxiliar.
I should like to reserve a room for tonight.
It is cold in here. Would you mind closing the window, please? It is cold in here. Would you mind closing the window, please?
Would you bring me the letter? Would you bring me the letter?
Bueno, de esta forma acabamos una nueva lección de Visual English y sin perder más tiempo porque los Brown nos esperan. Fíjense sobre todo en el empleo de los diversos tiempos verbales que hemos empleado en estas últimas lecciones.
Dad, how long is it since you were released from the Navy?
That was a long time ago.
Isn't it a long time since you graduated from the university?
Yes. That was a long time ago, too.
Dad, how old are you?
Well,
Hello, everybody.
We've been waiting for you all afternoon. Where have you been?
I have been to the store with John. Has Caroline arrived in Paris yet?
Yes.
When did she arrive?
She arrived this morning in Paris on a plane from New York. She has already called here this afternoon.
What has she been doing?
She's been resting since after work. She was ill last week, and she hasn't recovered from her illness yet.
Caroline has traveled all over the world.
Not everywhere.
How long has she been traveling for work?
She started traveling for work 11 years ago.
When was she in Japan?
She was in Japan not long ago. She was in London and Italy, too. She hasn't practiced her Italian since she was there 5 years ago.
Where is Richard?
He was here a minute ago. Richard!
I've just finished my homework. I've just started reading this book. I've got a lot to do.
I have wasted my time today. I just worked for 1 hour.
Have we received any letters today?
No, we haven't received any letters.
John and I have agreed to see each other again tomorrow.
Richard, it is hot in here. Would you mind opening the window, please?
Okay.
John will go swimming tomorrow afternoon. He will arrive here at 4 p.m. Later, we will go to a restaurant around the corner.
And I'll go with you.
No, thank you, little brother.
Richard, it is cold in here. Would you mind closing the window, please?
Well, okay.
Would you bring me the letter?
May I go now?
Would you rather go or stay?
I would rather go.
Goodbye, Richard.
I will go to my new bedroom. I would like some chocolate.
The letter is in French. Caroline is in Paris. Would she help us with the letter?
How could she help us?
Would she look for the writers of the letter?
She'd like that.
Would you rather telephone Caroline's hotel in Paris or send a telegraph to the hotel?
I'd rather phone the hotel. I shall call her there tomorrow morning.
Where are the eggs?
There.
Are there still 3 eggs?
Yes, there are still 3 eggs.
Hola, en el anterior capítulo habíamos comenzado ya a estudiar el futuro. Hoy vamos a continuar con este tiempo de verbo, pero para construir la forma negativa. Para ello se coloca la partícula not entre el auxiliar, bien sea shall o will, y el verbo principal de la oración. Generalmente en la conversación se suelen emplear las formas abreviadas shan't o won't, pero veámoslo más claro en un ejemplo.
I shall not, shan't go out after lunch. You will not, won't be ready when he comes.
She won't help us with the letter unless you ask her to. She won't help us with the letter unless you ask her to.
La partícula if, si, expresa condición y se emplea con un verbo en presente si la oración principal se halla en futuro y en la forma afirmativa. Por ejemplo, ella vendrá si la telefoneas.
She will come if you telephone her.
We'll have to stay at home if it rains and not go to school. We'll have to stay at home if it rains and not go to school.
Sin embargo, cuando queremos expresar una condición y el verbo de la oración principal se halla en futuro y en la forma negativa, se emplea unless, que podría traducirse por a menos que, a no ser que.
He won't come unless you call him.
She won't help us with the letter unless you ask her to. She won't help us with the letter unless you ask her to.
Recordemos que el verbo must, deber, indica obligación o deber ineludible de hacer algo. Este verbo, al igual que la mayoría de los verbos defectivos, puede ser sustituido por otro verbo sinónimo, el cual sirve además para suplir aquellos tiempos pasados o futuros de los que carece este verbo defectivo. To have to, tener que, es un sinónimo muy habitual de must.
I have to go to the dressmaker's.
She'll have to take a taxi if she wants to get there on time. She'll have to take a taxi if she wants to get there on time.
Recordemos que en el lenguaje habitual también podemos emplear como sinónimo de must to have got to. En la siguiente lección continuaremos con el empleo de estas expresiones. No obstante, he querido hacer una pequeña introducción para abordar las siguientes nociones con una cierta práctica. Y ya saben mi recomendación, realicen los ejercicios.
The National Hockey League, or NHL, is the highest level of professional hockey in North America. The sport has been dominated throughout the 1980s by one man, the great Wayne Gretzky. For 7 consecutive years, he was the league's leading scorer and most valuable player. Now there is a new hockey star claiming all of Gretzky's titles.
That's some help from
In the 1987 Canada Cup Series, the then 21-year-old Mario Lemieux led his Canadian team to a 2-1 victory over the powerful Soviet Union.
That was very important to us to win the Canada Cup for our fans, for our country, and a great experience just to play with the best in the world.
It's becoming a not-so-great experience for the rest of the National Hockey League to play against Lemieux. A member of the once lowly Pittsburgh Penguins, he emerged as the most dominant force in the game by scoring 6 points and the winning goal in the annual All-Star Game.
Mario Lemieux by himself ends it.
During the 1987-88 season, the 22-year-old Lemieux became only the 4th man in NHL history to score 70 goals. He also assisted on 98 goals by his teammates, giving him a league-leading 168 points, breaking Wayne Gretzky's 7-year string as the league's scoring champ. Lemieux makes playing hockey look easy.
Estamos ya en la 30ª lección del curso. Y como les comenté en la pasada lección, vamos a continuar con la expresión to have to, empleada como sinónimo del verbo defectivo must. Para formar el pasado o el futuro, se emplean las correspondientes formas del verbo to have, de tal manera que para decir que yo tenía que o tendré que,
I had to wait a long time at the bus stop. You'll have to go to the doctor's.
We shall have to come home earlier than usual today. We shall have to come home earlier than usual today.
Para expresar obligación, especialmente cuando se trata de cumplir un mandato o un consejo, se emplea el verbo to be seguido de un infinitivo. En este caso, el verbo también resulta ser sinónimo del verbo defectivo must.
They are to stay at home when it rains.
The eggs are to stay there alone. The eggs are to stay there alone.
Para expresar prohibición en presente, se emplea mustn't o bien el verbo to be acompañado de not y un infinitivo. Naturalmente, este nuevo giro viene a ser sinónimo de mustn't.
They aren't to speak so loud.
We aren't to mention this to anyone.
Not to mention this to anyone.
We aren't to mention this to anyone.
Not to mention this to anyone.
Bueno, llegamos al término de una nueva lección. Yo, como siempre, no les obligo, pero sí les recomiendo que estudien y que, naturalmente, presten mucha atención a este nuevo y emocionante capítulo de los Brown.
We didn't have to get up before sunrise.
We had to get up early. I was to telephone Caroline before 3 o'clock in Paris. I shall call her at the hotel.
Why are we up so early?
Your father has to call Caroline in Paris.
The line is busy. I shall try again in a minute.
You'll succeed if you try again. She won't help us with the letter unless you ask her to.
We'll be pleased if you succeed.
I would help Caroline if she asked me to. If she is at the hotel, she'd answer the telephone. I shall try again.
I think it will rain today. We'll have to stay at home if it rains and not go to school.
Oh, Richard, I think it won't rain today. If it rains, you could go fishing with your friends after school.
We shall play football at school this afternoon. I shall not write any letters.
I'll go to the bank this morning. Later, I'll go shopping for groceries. What would you like from the store, Richard?
Chocolate.
Wouldn't you like some peaches and raisins?
Yeah.
After shopping, I shall play tennis this afternoon.
Caroline was angry with me. She was ill. She was reading when I called.
Will she accept your apology?
She already accepted my apology.
Will she help us?
If she can, Caroline will help us. She must go to a small town to look for the people of the letter. She'll have to take a taxi if she wants to get there on time.
Won't you have another biscuit?
No, I shan't eat them all. No, thank you. I've had enough.
Robert, you have to go to work. You'll have to go at once if you are to be there before 9 o'clock.
I don't have to go yet. I have to be at work by 10 o'clock.
Oh.
I shall have to leave a little earlier than usual.
How are the eggs this morning?
I'll look. Look, now there are only 2 eggs.
Look here. There is no egg. There is another button.
We must hide the last 2 eggs in the closet. Yes, in the closet behind the coats. The eggs are to stay there alone.
The egg robber will have to give them back to us.
We aren't to mention this to anyone.
Not to mention this to anyone.
No one is to go into that room, the closet.
There is nobody in the closet. Just coats and eggs.
No one is to go into the closet without permission.
We shall have to come home earlier than usual today.
I will call you here before 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Hola, de nuevo con ustedes para comenzar la siguiente lección de este curso de inglés. Hasta ahora, los tiempos de verbos que habíamos estudiado nos resultaron relativamente sencillos, pues seguían unas normas establecidas válidas para los verbos regulares. Sin embargo, en esta lección vamos a empezar a estudiar los diferentes tiempos para los llamados verbos irregulares. Recordemos que el pretérito indefinido se formaba añadiendo la terminación ed al infinitivo sin to para los verbos regulares. Pero para los irregulares, este tiempo se forma cambiando totalmente el infinitivo o variando algunas letras del mismo. A continuación, veremos algunos ejemplos de estas irregularidades poniendo juntos el infinitivo y el pretérito indefinido, que se emplea igualmente para todas las personas, tanto del singular como del plural.
To go, I went. To come, you came. To see, he saw.
I went to the post office a few hours ago. I wrote to my friend in Australia. I went to the post office a few hours ago. I wrote to my friend in Australia.
Como ven, estos verbos irregulares no siguen ninguna norma y para conocerlos es necesario el estudio y la práctica con ellos. Sin embargo, para formar la interrogación con un verbo irregular en pretérito indefinido, se emplea el auxiliar did delante del sujeto y, a continuación, el verbo que se desea conjugar en infinitivo sin to, al igual que con los verbos regulares.
Why did you tell me that story, Margaret? Why did you tell me that story, Margaret? When did you see him? When did you see him?
Igualmente, para formar la negación, se emplea el auxiliar did seguido de la partícula not, o bien la forma abreviada didn't, que se coloca entre el sujeto y el verbo que se desea conjugar, como verán de forma similar que en el caso de los verbos regulares.
I did not know the building was John's. I did not know the building was John's.
De forma similar se construye la interrogación, anteponiendo didn't al sujeto y a continuación el verbo que se desea conjugar. Como verán, la gramática inglesa sigue unas normas sencillas y muy rigurosas, pero como en todas las lenguas, existen excepciones. En esta lección lo hemos podido comprobar con el uso de algunos verbos. Pero para que todo esto se afiance en usted, pase rápidamente a realizar los ejercicios y a conocer las diferentes formas de los verbos irregulares.
The giant saguaro cactus is king of the Sonoran Desert. The saguaro is just one of an endless variety of cactus found in the Sonoran Desert, which covers an area larger than Great Britain. The environment of the desert is fragile, and it is being threatened by cactus rustlers who cater to a black market demand in the U.S., Europe, and Japan, a black market which can produce prices as high as $15,000 for a prize specimen. The Sonoran Desert stretches from northern Mexico into the state of Arizona in the southwestern U.S. Officials in Arizona are doing what they can to stop the poachers. They are known as cactus cops. Their job is to keep an inventory of cactus, large and small. It is against the law to remove any cactus from the natural environment, but because of the large area and the relatively small number of officers, the job of enforcing the law is difficult. The poachers are doing more than just stealing cactus. What they do today for profit will leave its mark on the fragile desert environment for a long time. Another step Arizona officials are taking to reduce the damage done by poachers is to grow cactus in a controlled environment until they are mature enough to be reintroduced into the wild. Extremely rare species are often protected from extinction in this way. While it is illegal to steal cactus, it is not impossible to obtain them if you follow the rules. Permits can be purchased, and the cactus are tagged so that officials can keep track of them. There are also nurseries that cultivate cactus for the legitimate marketplace, so that people in places far from the Sonoran Desert can enjoy the exotic plants. But as long as there are those who will pay high prices for illegally harvested cactus, the problem of poaching will continue.
¿Qué tal les ha ido en el estudio de los verbos irregulares? Espero que bien, pues vamos a continuar con ellos, esta vez para conocer cómo se construye gramaticalmente el participio pasado. Recordemos que en el caso de los verbos regulares, este se formaba añadiendo la terminación ed. Nuevamente, no existe ninguna norma y este participio pasado, en la mayoría de los casos, es totalmente distinto del infinitivo o incluso del pretérito indefinido. Igual que anteriormente, lo veremos más claro con algunos ejemplos.
To go. I went. I have gone. To see. He saw. He has seen.
We have lost another egg. We have lost another egg.
En ocasiones, el pretérito perfecto no se traduce literalmente al español. Por ejemplo, en inglés, para decir que hace muchos años que le conocemos,
We have known him for many years.
Otro de los casos en los que varía el significado de la oración es cuando la palabra just que en realidad significa justo o justamente, se coloca entre el auxiliar have o has y el participio pasado. Entonces, el sentido de la frase también cambia y equivale a la expresión en castellano acabar de.
He has just arrived from New York.
Para construir las formas negativas o interrogativas, se sigue la norma establecida para el caso de los verbos regulares, es decir, utilizando los auxiliares correspondientes. Veámoslo en algún ejemplo.
Have you written to him? She hasn't lost her watch.
Has Caroline made any progress in Paris? Has Caroline made any progress in Paris?
Haven't you understood me? Haven't you understood me?
De momento, con estas nociones acabamos con los verbos irregulares. En el siguiente capítulo de los Brown, John y Margaret siguen comentando el misterio de los huevos, ya que ahora ya solo quedan 2 y, sin embargo, han aparecido en su lugar 2 botones. Naturalmente, en el lenguaje verán la aplicación de los tiempos pretéritos con estos verbos irregulares.
Have you opened the mail today?
Yes. There was only a magazine. There were no letters.
I went to the post office a few hours ago. I wrote to my friend in Australia.
You have a friend in Australia?
Yes. He teaches science and economics at the university twice a week. His wife taught history and literature at the same university for 2 years.
Do you think they would help us with the mystery about the eggs?
I hope so. They know all the works of Shakespeare. They know all the works of the 16th century writers, too.
Why would Shakespeare help us with the eggs?
Why not?
I read something interesting in the morning news today.
What did you read in the newspaper?
It was a story about a lost engagement ring.
Who lost it?
A woman named Diana.
So?
She is from France. She understood very little English a few months ago. She found English very difficult to pronounce at the beginning. She spoke to the police with some difficulty.
Where has she lost her engagement ring?
She doesn't know.
Why did you tell me that story, Margaret?
We have lost another egg.
What? What?
Haven't you understood me?
What? What?
Don't speak so loudly.
That's a good idea. How many eggs are there now at your house?
There are 2 eggs at our house. We have lost 2 eggs. But we now have 2 buttons.
Yes. Lost eggs. 2 buttons.
The buttons come from a coat. It could be a wool coat for winter. It could be a cotton coat for summer.
I don't think so. I don't think it is a summer coat. I think it is a winter coat. Can I see those buttons, please?
I saw the big man today.
What? Where did you see him?
I saw him at the stationery store. I buy my writing materials at the stationer's.
When did you see him?
I saw him this afternoon. He came to the store late. It was getting ready to close.
What did he buy?
He bought some ink and paper at the stationer's. I bought 2 pens and a red pencil. Aren't they pretty?
Yes, your pens and pencil are very pretty. Let me see what you have. Did he see you there?
No, I don't think so. I hope not. Did you know the big man is not so big as he was last week?
Why not?
The big man has lost weight.
How much weight has the big man lost?
He has lost about 8 pounds. He was wearing an overcoat.
Did the big man's overcoat have buttons?
Let's see. I don't remember, John.
Has Caroline made any progress in Paris?
I don't know. I hope so. Caroline hasn't called our family yet.
The mechanic repaired my car today.
I'm glad to hear it. Will the weather be fine tomorrow?
I hope so.
I don't think so. It is so windy now that we have to stay indoors.
Come on, let's go to your house.
That's a good idea. I would like that very much. Let's take a taxi.
Hola, continuamos con una nueva lección de Visual English. Y como ya es habitual, esta va a estar centrada en un tiempo de verbo. Concretamente, en este capítulo nos vamos a dedicar de lleno a conocer el pretérito pluscuamperfecto, lo que en inglés se denomina the past perfect tense. Este tiempo se forma en inglés mediante el imperfecto del verbo to have, es decir, had, y el participio pasado del verbo que se desea conjugar.
I had already had dinner when they arrived.
After the people had left the building, I sat down and rested. After the people had left the building, I sat down and rested.
Siempre que la oración principal vaya en pretérito pluscuamperfecto, su subordinada debe ir en the simple past tense, es decir, en pretérito indefinido o imperfecto. Lo veremos en el ejemplo, pero fíjense que el verbo to do, cuando no se utiliza como auxiliar, significa hacer y naturalmente es irregular.
He thanked me for what I had done.
Later, John thanked me for what I had done. Later, John thanked me for what I had done.
Son muchas las interpretaciones que pueden darse al traducir al español frases inglesas, pero en muchos casos estas interpretaciones están muy generalizadas. Por ejemplo, the past perfect tense o el pretérito pluscuamperfecto puede traducirse también al español por el infinitivo haber acompañado del participio pasado.
He dressed after he had shaved.
I hurried to see him today after I had learned the news. I hurried to see him today after I had learned the news.
Es especialmente interesante que a este nivel del curso no avance en las lecciones sin haber aprendido bien la gramática anterior. Y por supuesto, la mejor forma de comprobarlo es mediante la práctica. Ejercite con las cintas de audio e incluso repase capítulos de los Brown o de los mini reportajes que les ofrecemos.
Giant redwoods, sequoias, and pine trees. Nothing seems unusual about this forest until you realize just who lives here. Welcome to the Ewok Village on the moon of Endor, the beginning of the Star Tours adventure at the newest addition to the Walt Disney family of theme parks. The Disney MGM Studios theme park in the southeastern U.S. city of Orlando, Florida, is both a public amusement park and a fully operational movie studio. Star Tours combines the imagination and wizardry of producer-director George Lucas with the creative talents of the Disney staff. Add to this flight simulator technology, plus scenes from the film Star Wars, and the movie screen comes alive as adventure seekers hurl through space. George Lucas's famous androids from the Star Wars movies are on hand to service the spacecraft and to start daring space travelers on their way. Once space travelers have passed through the maintenance areas, they are ready to board their star speeders. But what begins as a leisurely tour to the moon of Endor soon turns into a thrilling flight through space, thanks to an inexperienced pilot.
I meant to do that. A little shortcut.
It's a flight full of close calls, encounters with the enemy, and dizzying speeds. On Star Tours, you can experience an intergalactic adventure without ever leaving your seat.
shortcut. R2, light speed